Big Boom AJ, Chris Jericho, Anthony Bowens. I don't know why the Costco guys are still out there. We've seen more than we need to see of them in the open of this show. Yet they're still out there. To do what? I don't know. Bring the boom, right? No, I don't want to bring the boom. There's not even a fucking Costco in New York City. Nobody gives a shit. So these two fucking cringe fests are out there hyping up the crowd. And I don't know what seventh circle of fucking hell we have transported to. But now we got Big Boom AJ, AJ's son, Big Justice, and the Learning Tree in the same fucking segment. I genuinely want to know how many remote controls were picked up to go watch anything else on a Saturday night. I'm sure there was a great Hallmark movie on. I'm sure that Home Alone was on rerun again for the fucking umpteenth time this month. Maybe The Grinch was on TV. You're looking at the real life Grinch right here. Christmas Story, Die Hard. What was on TV that you guys were watching? College football tonight? Yeah, man. I don't know what their plan is, but I'm shivering with fucking fear as to what could potentially be coming of this. Learning Tree interrupted them. So we got all of this cringe fest out there. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope this isn't the case. I really hope this isn't the case. So Jericho asked if they had a permit to be here from Mayor de Blasio. Mayor de Blasio is not the mayor of New York. It's Mayor Adams. So clearly he's joking. He's got his mayors all mixed up. So Big Justice called him a jackass. Jericho says that he spoke for all New Yorkers when he says they didn't want Big Boom AJ there. Probably the smartest thing Chris Jericho said all year. They don't even have Costco's in New York. We don't shop at Costco here in New York City. We shop at bodegas. Jericho said that New York wasn't about silly gimmicks like Boom or guys in bandit masks, because he referred to Bandito after his run-in at Final Battle, or who people scissor. Out comes Anthony Bowens, all by himself. Anthony Bowens not out there with Max Caster, who told Jericho, shut the hell up. Big Bill said that people who asked for silence were afraid of the truth. And his hometown crowd chanted Big Bill's name. It's probably the smartest thing he's ever said. People who want silence from those that they don't agree with are afraid of the truth. Gee, man. You're looking at fucking prime suspect, enemy number one over here. People who want to silence me every single week, including some of the people that work in this fucking company, are afraid of what I project. Sometimes I fly too close to the sun, man. I don't give a shit. I like to get burned every now and then. Bowens challenged Jericho to fight him, but the Learning Tree bailed. AJ hit his line, and Bowens interrupted him and scissored him instead. Guys, I don't want to put this out there in the universe. I really don't want to put this out there in the universe, but they clearly have moved on from Chris Jericho being on AEW television. Now, it won't stop. He's the Ring of Honor World Champion. If he's going to be on television, it will be on Dynamite. And we will see Chris Jericho on Dynamite when Tony decides to put Jericho on TV. That's just the sad reality of the situation. Nothing that regards Ring of Honor should be done on AEW Dynamite. Nothing that is Ring of Honor should be anywhere close to AEW television. I said this once. I'm going to say it twice. I'm going to say it every fucking time that we talk about Ring of Honor. I don't know what they're doing with Chris Jericho. I feel like Chris Jericho is running out of things to do, and I feel like Jericho is running out of people to work with. That makes sense. Jericho right now is in such a low state on AEW television. He's in such a bad state of affairs on AEW television. Nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about the learning tree except for Big Bill. Big Bill's fucking awesome. Nobody cares about the learning tree. Nobody cares about Jericho. Nobody cares what Jericho does, what Jericho says, who Jericho feuds with. Everybody that feuds with Jericho is worse off for it. Nothing comes out of it. Nothing. Please name me one person in the last 3 years that has benefited from feuding with Chris Jericho. I'll wait. Not a single fucking person. Jericho does what Jericho does for Chris Jericho. Jericho is living his gimmick. You think this is a fucking work. This is a shoot. Learning tree, TV time. This guy is desperately hanging on to whatever TV time he could find himself on television. And he's going to suck the juice out of whatever fruit is still hanging there for him. There's not many people that want to work with him. I guarantee it. Because they all probably feel the same fucking way. I don't know who wants to work with, I swear to God, man, I don't know who wants to work with Chris Jericho knowing exactly where they're going to end up. Look at the reactions. Look at the online reaction. Look at the in-arena reaction. Look at the fucking vibe around everything that is done, that is said. It is awful. Nobody cares. You want to be at one point in your career and you want to sink lower, feud with Chris Jericho. Start a program with Chris Jericho. Hook is not better off for it. Hook has floundered for months because of Chris Jericho, and nothing has been elevated in regards to Hook. Nothing. Yet here we are. Because nobody wants to feud with Chris Jericho, now we're getting, unfortunately, a potential tease of Jericho versus the Costco Guys. Tony's already stated that Big Boom AJ's coming back to AEW television. Who the fuck do you put him in the ring with? I know people were going crazy over his interaction with MJF at some fucking gymnasium on the independent circuit. That's not going to happen. The reason why that's not going to happen is because MJF is a little bit too rated TV 14 for the Costco Guys content. MJF would absolutely eviscerate them in every sense of the fucking word on national television, and that's not going to be good for the Costco Guys brand. So that's not going to happen. The only reason why he showed up there is because MJF was wrestling QT Marshall on the show, and we just got done with Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall at the Full Gear 0 hour pre-show. So what is left to do for Big Boom AJ? They're going to run whatever gimmick they got until it's fucking bone dry, and they're going to use someone like Chris Jericho, who has absolutely nothing going on for him. And they're going to use Chris Jericho, who will gladly feud with the Costco Guys because they have 1,000 times more presence on social media, where Jericho's name value gets skyrocketed because he's feuding with the Costco Guys. And the Costco Guys do whatever they got to do because they're on a wrestling show and they get the exposure and they're all over the place and they get content. That's what's going on here. Sucks. We're looking at a potential Big Boom AJ versus Chris Jericho match when his foot is fully healed. Who asked for that? I don't know. Who asked for them on this show tonight? I don't know. Who asked for that match? I don't know. But I swear to God, man, either Tony Khan is the dumbest fuck in the history of pro wrestling, the most clueless fuck in the history of pro wrestling, or Chris Jericho has more pull than we could have ever imagined. Which is it? This shit sucks. This was done for a reason. And not because, hey man, we need to fill 10 minutes of TV time on Saturday night.